20 on me, case emergency. Ain't no cap in my rap. Real I know it's the truck. More profit mean extra. Emerald white out full of pressure. That cereal milk smoking right. But that Obama rant some special. Kansas City, I'm a chief. Shout out to K5 on new one. Country thuggin', I was hustling. I always had it on me. Booming like OJ the Juice. Till a nigga told on me. From now on, it's relentless. Ain't no love, we ain't friendly. If she want me on him. No the law, she get the business. No the law, still the motto. Empire.
Hello. Welcome in. This is Birds of a Feather Podcast with your boy Q City. We're going to look at a game recap versus the Saints. You know, I was off last week, so just short and sweet getting to that. We're going to look at Wild Card Weekend and the crazy matchups that happened there. We're going to have our previews of the divisional round, then get into some betting points and give me props. City Talk is at the end, so come on with me and enjoy this ride. So as you guys know, I was off last week, enjoying myself, taking some time to reconnect, get my mind right, and start this new year off in the exact way I want to for the podcast. With that being said, I figured I would take a week off just to process how we lost to the Saints. It was terrible. So we lost to Saints 30-10. Hill gets knocked out pretty early into the game, and Simeon steps in, balling. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Kamara ran all over us, had 146 yards on the day. And then the defense got like 5 sacks on us. It was an overall bad game. I thought for the most part we were going to end up playing spoiler to the Saints season. Luckily, very luckily, the 49ers end up handling business in their game. They got in as the 6, moved the Eagles down to the 7. And so, luckily, blessedly, the Saints were able to be kept out. Ending our season on a low note. It's no other way to say it. It was a low note. Going out, the loss to your rival. Matt didn't play great. 216, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 62 yards rushing as a team. Now, Gage had a day, 9 for 126, 1 touchdown on 11 targets. That was beautiful. And Pitts missed the record. He missed it by a wide margin. He had 2 receptions for 8 yards. As a whole, the team didn't show up to perform this day. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, early on, I thought it was just literally the fact that they knew they were out of the playoffs. It didn't look like there was any fight or heart left in the team. It was just more so like, we got to go out here and get a game check. Pitts was playing for a record, basically a no-show. Most of these guys are playing for a chance to be on this team next year. And just quite honestly, I felt like it was really just a gutless performance. Obviously, it's 2 weeks ago. I'm not going to go note by note on it. But I was really, really disappointed with the effort that was put out there. AJ had a great day. He was balling. Him being named to the All-Pro second team was great and a revelation, and absolutely had to happen considering he was snubbed for the Pro Bowl. You know what I'm saying? And Lord knows I don't want to root for Dallas to get to the Super Bowl just so AJ could get a Pro Bowl nod. Matt's been shaky, definitely. And this game was another example of that. He faded down the stretch really, really bad. Really, really bad. And I'm not gonna lie. This was the first time this season that I strongly considered, like, fuck the dead money. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, man, just cut your ties. But I think a lot of that was just the boiled over frustration of the season in a whole. We lost our season in San Francisco. At that point in time, we're just betting on other people. You know what I'm saying? And then couldn't handle our business. Beat the Lions, but you lose against the Bills. So this game doesn't have much meaning and consequence other than the fact that, hey, I really, really, really don't want my rival to get into the playoffs by beating me. And you couldn't even stop them. You know what I'm saying? And the Saints don't have a quarterback at all. At all. They rolled out there Taysom Hill, who ended up getting some plantar fasciitis type situation going on. You know what I'm saying? The fact that Sean Payton still uses him is amazing. Like, Sean Payton is an offensive genius. We can all agree. We know this. This is as true as the day is long. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that he consistently uses this guy who at this point in time has shown he is injury prone. You know, he missed 2 whole seasons at BYU. He comes into the league, he's hurt. As soon as he gets a full-time position, he's hurt. This dude's always on the training table. So, like, even regardless of his versatility, which you lose by putting him at quarterback because then you can no longer use him in versatile positions, Sean sticks with him. And he's a Falcon killer. Like, I think he's played us 4 times and beat us 3. You know? So, absolutely. It was incredibly disheartening to see him go out the game early. And we got to play Simeon. And we played Simeon last game. And Simeon we played him in week 8 when we won. And this guy comes out here looking like freaking Dan Marino, bro. Like, we make him look absolutely amazing. And couldn't stop the run to save our lives. Couldn't stop the run to save our lives. Kamara, 30 runs. Like, that's... It wasn't a career high. Trust me, I went and checked, but I was very astonished that they gave him the ball as much as they did. But, like, why would you stop? Why would you stop? He went 30 for almost 150. That's 5 yards a pop. Of course, I'm giving you the ball every single time. Every single time. 2 times I give you the ball, it's a first down. I can go down the field like that the whole way. It was a bad performance. I wouldn't go as far to say gutless, but it wasn't too many notches above it. It wasn't. I was very, very happy to see Gage step up. He had a big day. He's looking to get paid. He is definitely looking to get paid, and I think, obviously, you know, we're going to talk about Ridley, that situation. I don't think he's a replacement for Ridley. He obviously 100% isn't worth the money that you were going to pay Ridley. But the money you're currently paying Ridley on his rookie contract being a first round pick, so in total around a $14 to $15 million deal, I wouldn't be opposed to giving Ridley 2 years, 2 years, about 9 to 10 guaranteed, 15 total on the books. It's not bad. It's not bad. He's a very decent wide receiver. Even if you want to stretch it out to 3 years, about 21 mil, and then guarantee 11 or 12 of it, just so that way, you know, you can stretch the money out on the books a little bit more, play with it. I see him being on the team for 2 years. Definitely a 2 year on the books type of guy. He should stick around. He's not a focal point of an offense, but definitely doable. Appreciate him. So yeah, just overall disappointed with the game. Disappointed with how we went out there, how we played. Yeah, I don't have too many silver linings on it. You know what I'm saying? But I digress. Season's over. 7-10. Let's get into these playoffs. Hey, you guys. It's your boy Q City. As you know, I love Atlanta. Its teams, its venues, but more importantly, its culture creators. 15, XV like the Roman numeral, is a brand line dedicated to capturing the essence of the city. Their gifted artists have clothing that not only show their support for the thriving Atlanta teams, but also show their true talent. Black created, owned, and operated, 15 has a special offer for Birds of a Feather listeners. Go to 15.weebly.com and type in promo code QCity15 to get 15% off on your first order. That's QCITY15 for 15% off on your first order. 15 FIFTXVN.weebly.com. Excellence is waiting for you. So Super Wild Card Weekend happened this past week, and man, it was awesome. The NFL knows how to sell and market their product. Like, it's good, man. Like, it's good. They know what they're doing, because 100% of the time I was enthralled. I was completely just hooked into the game and into what they were selling. You got storylines abound. You got huge performances by quarterbacks, running backs, defenses. It's awesome all the way around. So Bengals over the Raiders, 26-19. Derek Carr threw a late interception that sealed this game. But this really and truly was Joey B's coming out party. And if you're a college football fan at all, hey, go Dogs, national champs, definitely one for the city. But if you're a college football fan at all, you know that Joe Burrow's 2019 LSU Tigers, we're probably never going to see another team like that. There's nobody anywhere that looks like that. That team consistently put over like 50 points up. If you look at the team, they had a first round pick at running back, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You had a first round pick at two first round picks, one of them top 5 at wide receiver in Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, both elite receivers in the league. You had Thaddeus Moss, you had Randy Moss's kid on that team. You had multiple offensive and defensive linemen. The team was just stacked. The team was just stacked completely, and nobody was touching them. Nobody anywhere was touching them. And I honestly believe that the measure of who you are and your value isn't necessarily determined by what you do while you're there. It is a bit about like what you do when you leave, not to get too political about it, but when Jordan left the Bulls, they still won 55 games. LeBron leaves the Cavs, they end up in the lottery. Joe Burrow left the Tigers. They ended up a year and a half after winning a national title, fired their coach mid-season and let him finish out the season. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, places in absolute turmoil. Offensive numbers in the tank. I want to say one of the worst offenses in the SEC. So, Joe's that guy. Like, Joe's that guy. And Carr, he's never played well in cold weather. He's a SoCal guy. He comes over here, goes to Cincinnati. He wasn't able to spin it, But they can't hang their heads. Everything they went through this season, the Gruden situation, God bless him, but the dude that was speeding their wide receiver, Henry Ruggs. You know what I'm saying? Then their corner got caught waving guns on Instagram. They had to let him go. Another corner or safety got caught with a DUI. Like, they've been through everything this year. Everything. And just the fact that they were able to not only get to the playoffs shows an ineptitude and a failure on the Chargers' part, but shows a lot of grit and heart. And I don't think they can hang their head at all with the type of season that they've had. Bills over the Patriots, they freaking destroyed them. It felt so good. It felt so good to watch the Patriots lose like that. It was 42-17, bro. 47-17. My fault. 47 points. They went 7 for 7. No punts, no interceptions, no field goals, no fumbles. Just complete obliteration. Like, I honestly believe, man, the Bills weren't beating the 2021 Bills were not beating the 2021 Patriots on Saturday. They absolutely were not. The 2021 Bills were beating the 2000 Patriots up until the 2019 Patriots. Like, they were literally beating these folks for every single year that Tom Brady was there and consistently whooped their ass. Like, they brought out the can of whoop ass on every past Bills team that had a chance that ended up missing the playoffs. That they channeled the JP Lawsman's draft picks. The EJ Manuel draft picks. Like, they channeled all that and unleashed all that pain and hurt onto the New England Patriots because they whooped their ass. This game ended 47-17, and that's a 30-point loss, and that's bad, but you still score 17 points. So it's bad, but it don't look as bad. At one point in this game, it was 33-3. And it wasn't that close. Like, it was an ass whooping. Mac Jones had a terrible game. He ended with 2 touchdowns, or it might have been 1 touchdown. But the 2 picks he threw early, when the defense couldn't stop nobody, it took him out the game, and they really didn't have a chance after that. On top of the fact that, like, Bill is a defensive guy, and so one was like sports talk radio, and the other I actually heard it from a coach. You know, we got to talking about that game because I had that the Bills would win. Obviously, won $20 off it. Appreciate it, Fleming, especially if you're listening to this. Definitely won $20 off it. I had the Bills, but I didn't expect this complete annihilation. And dude was like, bro, they're in the same division. And like, outside of that crazy like windstorm game in Josh Allen's rookie season, Josh Allen ain't really been losing to the Patriots like that. And I'm like, nah, bro, like, you tripping. You know what I'm saying? And then you go back and look, and dude's got a point. Like, Josh Allen hadn't been losing to the Patriots like that, even though Bill's like a defensive mastermind. So, like, Bill's probably done thrown the kitchen sink at him a couple times. And dude was crazy inaccurate coming out of college. Couldn't nobody argue with that. You know what I'm saying? But he got a cannon arm, and he got legs. He got legs, and he works. You can tell that he's been working. You surround him with elite talent like Stephon Diggs, and you get an offense that's damn near unstoppable. You know what I'm saying? So it was a joy to watch, because I love seeing the Patriots lose, especially after the Super Bowl and whatnot. But, yo, it was a beatdown. It was tough. The Bucks over the Eagles, 31-15. That game was not that close. At one point in time, it was 31-7. Jalen Hurts might not be the answer. I'm just keep it a buck. Keep it a buck. Jalen Hurts might not be that guy. He really might not. And I've always been a Hurts fan since he came in. You know what I'm saying? Because maybe Tua is good. But I felt like he got kind of done dirty at Alabama, considering what all he had done for that program. But football's a meritocracy. You know what I'm saying? And at that time, Tua was better. So fine, you go to Oklahoma and you damn near become a Heisman winner. All right, bet. Then the Eagles draft you in the 2nd round. Carson Wentz like has a fucking mental meltdown. The fact that the Colts ain't make the playoffs is just a testament to how much of a just mentally shot that dude is. Like, he is. Side note. I can't keep going. We're gonna come back to Bucks Eagles. The Colts making the playoffs was by far, the Colts and the Chargers were by far 2 of the worst things I think I've ever seen in my recent sports history. The Colts had a win in your end against a Jacksonville Jaguars team that fired its coach 3 weeks ago, whose acting head coach is Darrell Bevell. Listen to that name. Darrell fucking Bevell. If you're a Georgia fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Was the acting head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When they beat the Colts on a win in your end type game, and the thing about it is, the Colts didn't even show up to the game. It was like 21-9 or 21-11, 24-11. Like, where the hell were y'all? Carson Wentz, 2 interceptions, a fumble, just disgusting. And he played over 75% of the snaps. And the reason, here's the thing, the Colts could have folded early in the year. They were like 2-5 or 2-6. Like some shit, they were down low, and there was actual talk about sitting Carson Wentz, because if he played less than 75% of the snaps, the Eagles got a 2nd or a 3rd round pick. You continued to play him, you got back into contention. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, you already owe the Eagles a 1st round pick, and then you miss the playoffs, bro. Eagles were one of the first teams out and had one of the worst records. They were the 7th seed. You know what I'm saying? So their pick is going to be 19. Right? They get the Dolphins pick, because you remember the Dolphins traded with San Fran, moved all the way back to 12, and then moved back up to get Waddle. You know what I'm saying? So they got the Dolphins pick this year. Dolphins, people expected him to be good this year, and with the late, surge that they had, they ended up being pretty good. You know what I'm saying? So I think that pick's around like 15, 16. You know what I'm saying? Then you got the Colts pick right behind it. So it's 15, and then the Colts pick is 16. Either way, like, you got 2 picks back to back, and then you lost first round with one of the worst records, so you're at 19. You got 3 picks in the first round, and both those teams missed the playoffs. Like, the Dolphins, okay, shit happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, Tua was hurt, then you had the Deshaun Watson stuff. They started 1-7, so that pick was looking like it was going to be delicious. But, then it flamed out. The Colts missed the playoffs after playing him 75% of the season when they had a chance to sit him down. It was basically malpractice. It was. It was because you had a win and you're in against the Jacksonville Jaguars. It was terrible. On the flip side, the San Diego Chargers. I know, you're thinking, oh, what? No, they're in Los Angeles. No. Because that team that lost to the Raiders was the San Diego Chargers. You understand me? That was the same team in Qualcomm Stadium that was 14-2 and choked it up against Brady after getting an interception. That was that team. That was the team that beat Patrick Mahomes on a last-second touchdown and 2-point conversion just to choke away the division in the following 2 games. That was that team. That was and those San Diego Chargers flew to LA, tried to change their name, but they're the same old Chargers. And you got Justin Herbert, who is legit a top 10 quarterback in this league. If you count off the 10 best quarterbacks in this league, they all should be in the playoffs. And you were the only team with a legit top 10 quarterback that missed it. A legit top 10 guy. Not a discussion, not an argumentative statement or anything. Not a guy who missed time for injury like Lamar or Russell. No, a legit top 10 guy who was healthy reasonably all year, and you missed the playoffs. I'm not gonna lie. I consider firing Brandon Staley after his first season for that shit. Like, that is terrible. But aside, back to the Bucks and Eagles. Game wasn't that close. And I thought Jalen Hurts was that dude, but he missed wide open guys all day. Tom came out there with just that killer instinct. You know what I'm saying? They beat him bad. And it wasn't a close game. If there's any questions about like his weapons or whatever, they really were answered. They completely were answered. Tom destroyed the Eagles. Then you got one of the best games of the day. A game I won my other $20 on because Cowboy fans are irrational. 49ers versus Cowboys. Now, to be completely fair, Kyle damn near coughed up another lead. Just like the freaking Super Bowl. Because it was 23-7 with like 9 minutes left. There was no reason for the game to come down to what it came down to. But Kyle got let off the hook. Because he had some very, very questionable time management and play calling toward the end of that game. But we all know it. Dak slide. Dak didn't get down in enough time. He tried to like set the ball himself. Like, bro, Pee Wee football knows the ref got to touch the ball, bro. And he cost his team the game there. It's been talked with ad nauseum because they're America's team. I'm pretty sure you heard about it over and over again. So I see no reason to mince or parse words just to give my point of reference on it. I'm glad the 49ers are moving on, though. Can't stand Cowboy fans. They're easily one of the most obnoxious fan bases. So the fact that they lost brings me pure joy and puts money in my pocket. So it's a win-win. The Chiefs over the Steelers. This game was one of the scariest games I think I've ever seen. And strictly for this reason. It was 0-0 in the first quarter. Like all the way through the first quarter. I remember I sat down with my food. I was ready. I was texting. I'm watching the game. 0-0. Watt gets no. They tried a wildcat play. Watt ends up getting the fumble recovery, slides into the end zone. They are hyped. It is 7 to 0. Now at this point in time, Ben has, I think, 42 yards passing, and Mahomes has like 96. It was under 100, but it was pretty close. It was under 100 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 pick, fumble recovery for a touchdown. Steelers offense hadn't did shit, you know what I'm saying? But they were up 7-0. The next, I would say, 35 minutes, but in actuality was about 15 minutes of game time or 10 minutes of game time, was the scariest shit I've seen in my life. Like, the Chiefs rattled off 5 of the quickest touchdowns I think I've ever seen. Like, it was just bam, 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 bam. Like, it wasn't going nowhere. Like, they destroyed the Steelers. The fact that the Steelers scored 14 offensive points later was complete fluke shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, the game was far out of reach. It was, I want to say it was 35-7, and it might have been 42-7, or it might have been 42-14 at a point. But Joe, they were not in this game. They're on a whole nother level, and that is one of the scariest offenses I think I've ever seen. Then, last but not least, the Monday night game, Rams over the Cardinals. Kingsbury a fraud. Kingsbury, he couldn't win in his alma mater. I looked up a stat, and this is real shit, bro. This is real. They started off the season like 7-0. And if you look at them, it was either 7-0 or 8-0. It had to be 7-0. If you look at their last 11 games, bro, even if you just split the season down the middle, 18 games, right? Their first 9 games, they were 7-2. 7-2. Their last 9 games, they were 4-5. 7-2. 4-5. This team at a certain point in the season was the top seed. Remember, I was saying like the Rams just need to go ahead and give up the division to them. They were 10-1 at one point. Going into that game against Green Bay for the 1 seed, they were 10-1. From that point, this team won 1 more game. It's got to be one of the biggest choke jobs in NFL history. It was pathetic. Because they didn't even look like they belonged on the same field as the Rams. Matthew Stafford, Detroit's got some explaining to do. Because that is a good quarterback. That's a good quarterback. Overall, I love the weekend. I love the presentation of the weekend. Having a game on Nick, CBS, Fox. You know what I'm saying? It was a great weekend. Good weekend for football. And I'm looking forward to next weekend. Hey, you guys. Q City here. Me personally, I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit. But the one thing that's always held me back, not having my credit right. Credit is super important, especially where we are in life. Go to CourtneyHagans.com to get your credit right. Bad credit ain't cute. CourtneyHagans.com. That's Courtney, HAGINS.com. Use promo code QCity15 to get a free consultation. So we look ahead to next week. You got the Titans and the Packers. Both had byes. And somebody's Cinderella story is going to come to an end because you're running into the 1 seed. Then in the other 2 games, you got teams who season really can't end here for a multitude of reasons. Just check out the storylines. And I mean, hell, the NFL is all one big TV show. You know what I'm saying? I hate people who talk about the games being rigged. It's stupid because, like, why the hell would a team like Kansas City in the Midwest be the one to get the best player in the league and win a Super Bowl? Why would a team like Tampa? Have you been to Tampa? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a small market per se, but it ain't LA or New York. New York teams have been terrible. You know what I'm saying? But the NFL is an entertainment product. You know what I'm saying? And so we're really invested into the storylines of the games. Bengals at Titans. I got the Bengals, and for no reason other than the Titans still don't have Derrick Henry. I don't trust their defense, and I like Burrow. I like Burrow. I do. Had the bracket lined up any other way, I don't think this would be the saying for him. But I honestly believe that he has a chance to make it to the AFC Championship game in his first season in the playoffs, and it's truly just because the Raiders, you had no business losing to that team at all under any circumstance because of everything they had dealt with. The Titans, I honestly think the Bengals have a decided advantage against. I see them being able to take care of them. And so you're going to run into a seriously crazy, dangerous offense. But if it's the Chiefs, you already beat them. And if it's the Bills, we haven't necessarily seen that yet, but that's really two big, high-powered offenses. So I 100% want to see it, and I think it'd be interesting. Speaking of that game, this game I truly consider the AFC Championship game because whoever wins it, I think is going to the Super Bowl. Bills, Chiefs. We saw it play out earlier in the year, but I don't think the Chiefs are the same team that the Bills played earlier this year. It's in Arrowhead, like the Bills had already gone there and won. I just think it is going to be an amazing game. 100% this game is going to be fireworks lit up and down the field. It's going to be fun. It is going to be fun. I can't wait for it. I'm definitely setting aside time to watch it. Patrick Mahomes, man. Patrick Mahomes versus Josh Allen. Josh Allen, you can't deny it anymore. This dude's a star. He's a bona fide star. And a lot of, like, last year, him not being able to, fans in the stands, him not having fans in the stands, and you're like, oh, well, is this MVP candidate season kind of fraudulent? Like, no. He's real. He's legit. He the shit. So, him versus Pat Mahomes, like, that's like who's going to run the conference for the next 5-10 years. I don't think it's going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? I honestly, truly believe the AFC is set up like literally early 2000s type of days, bro, where it was Peyton, Tom, Phillip Rivers, Big Ben. Like, you just knew, like, those four guys were going to have a chance every year. They were going to be one of the four teams, if not two or three of the four teams at the end of the season in the conference. Because when you get to this point in the season, it's about those type of guys. It's about the real quarterbacks on the good teams. And if you look back from 2004 when Roethlisberger and Rivers entered, or I would probably say 2006 when Rivers started, up until Peyton retired in 16. Those guys own that conference in no uncertain terms. Every year, one of those four guys was in the divisional round, and I wouldn't be surprised if every year at least one of them was in the championship game. I know Tom took a bunch of those, and Tom might be, Pat. You know what I'm saying? If I had to compare him, I would say Tom would be the Pat, where Pat's going to be consistently winning and in the AFC Championship game at the least. You know what I'm saying? The Roethlisberger type would be Josh, you know what I'm saying? Which might be like he doesn't have consistently great runs, but he's there every year and he's good for one or two of them where he's going to get a Super Bowl or two. The Phillip Rivers might literally just be in Los Angeles with Herbert, where it's like, dude gonna put up a good bunch of yards, you know what I'm saying? And he's gonna get in, and he may never have a run, but he's consistently going to be one of the best in the league. And the Peyton guy, not from a physical standpoint, obviously, but the Peyton guy, I would consider Lamar. And the reason I say that is because he's going to consistently run into Pat. You know what I'm saying? Just how Peyton consistently ran into Brady. I don't think they're going to be able, because of his division and Joe Burrow being there, I don't think he's going to be able to win enough games to avoid Pat before the championship round consistently every year. And I think he's going to run into him again and again and again. And it's going to be a dragon he has to slay to get to the Super Bowl. Joey B, I was going to compare him to Peyton, but I actually compare him to his team guy, Carson Palmer. You know what I'm saying? And Palmer barely won playoff games. I want to say he never won one with the Bengals. But that team was consistently one of the most talented teams and made it damn near every year. And I feel like that's where Burrow is going to be. Unless he proves me wrong and he's able to, catapult his team by. The 49ers and Packers. I like the Packers, but it's iffy. San Fran is a physical team. They run the ball, and they're playing with house money right now. I would love to see them go on, but I also kind of want to see Rodgers win another Super Bowl. So, I kind of got the Packers in that one. Then Rams at Bucks. I need the Rams to win. I am tired of seeing Tom Brady. We can go ahead and knock him out early. And Sean McVay is a good enough coach that he deserves to be at another Super Bowl. Like, he just does, If he wins this one, this will be his third NFC championship game. And I definitely think that he's got the requisite time to do it. And I would love to see Rams-Packers. I think you got, at that point, you got student versus master type thing. And Rodgers is the best embodiment of what to do in that offense. But Stafford ain't no slouch. And so I think it would be just an amazing matchup. So I'm definitely looking forward to this weekend. Me and Greg are going to break down a lot of these betting points in the bottom line. So check us out. The feed's going to be on here. Yeah, man. Love football. And looking forward to it this weekend. Now onto my favorite portion, the betting portion. Give me props. I look back overall, me on the season. So I was 29-21 coming in, 58%. Matt Ryan, 0.5 INT, took the over, he hit it. Cool, 5.5 kicking points, took the over, he hit it. Hill, total passing and rushing, 256.5, took the under, hit. Kamara, 58.5 rushing yards, way over. That's a hit. And then the one that killed me was Cordell Patterson, 54.5 rushing and passing yards. I took the over, he hit the under on that. So 41 with the record, 4-1. 0-1 on my bonus pick. Kyle Pitts didn't even get anywhere close to the record. 59 yards for the record. I had 61.5 for the over, and he had 8 yards. It was terrible. But I was 33-22 overall on the season. If you remember, I started my podcast in like week 4 of the season. Their bye week right before they went to go face the Dolphins, and if you've been with me since then, you've seen the growth, saying that how I record, what's going on, advertisers with the podcast. It's been great. It's truly been great going through this season, 33-22, 60% on the season. I've got a new show, The Bottom Line with Greg Antoine. You can catch it on this feed or just look it up. It has its own feed. Q City 11 on Twitter. You can follow me. I make my basketball picks right before every game. Q City Leo on TikTok. I be posting a lot of my sports content and whatnot on there. And then Q City Media on Instagram and YouTube. I haven't got to the point. Actually, if you're really good at editing and, like doing podcasts and videos and stuff, like I would love to connect with you because I'm having some serious issues with it. But overall, I've just, it's a passion project, and I've really enjoyed doing this. This is my favorite part about it, is the betting part, like I love being, monetarily involved in the games. I'm already emotionally involved because I love the Falcons, love the Hawks, but I also love the sport, and I like to bet, so love your vices, bet responsibly. But it's been a hell of a ride this season, and it doesn't necessarily stop. We're going to discuss that in City Talk. So let's get into a little City Talk. For me, in person, I just want to say, like, I've really appreciated all the support. Like I said, I started this podcast as an ode to a friend that we were, supposed to do this together. And unfortunately, he passed due to COVID. And I really was just like, hey, I don't have the equipment. I don't have the wherewithal. I don't really know what the hell I'm doing. But I know we said we were going to do this. So I'm going to do it. And it's been a hell of a season. I really, really have enjoyed the season. I've loved being able to talk to people about the sports I love, about the teams I've loved. I love football in its whole. So the show's not going anywhere. I'm going to be doing football related content right up to the Super Bowl. Obviously, the Hawks podcast is going to, run up through the end of that season. But on the football pods, the format will change a little bit. I will strictly be releasing gambling points and betting points on the bottom line with Greg. So not so much a give me props segment is going to be on here. We can just more so look back at what happened through the divisional round next week and then look forward to the championship round, so on and so forth, to the Super Bowl. And I'll probably hold off on getting, like draft analysis, season reviews, all that type of stuff up until, after the Super Bowl. You just have content to fill that window from the Super Bowl up to the draft. And other than that, that's really where I'm going with it. I haven't received as much City Talk items, obviously, since the Falcons season ended. But the DMs are open, you guys. Hit me up, check on me. I love hearing from guys. I love hearing from gals as well. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the deeper topics usually come from women, and it is astounding that a lot of people don't respect their sports acumen. But I think it's because they look at sports with a different eye. You know what I'm saying? That maybe most men aren't capable of. So definitely hit me. The topics are open. I want to answer stuff. I want to give my perspective, but I also want to hear yours. So appreciate you guys. I appreciate all you do. Thank you for just sticking with me and let me do this. Let me have my little passion project and let it grow into something that apparently a good number of people enjoy, and I enjoy y'all. So appreciate you. Enjoy this ride and hit me up. I need topics for City Talk.
Looking like I hit the lotto. I want a hottie like mulatto. I'm on here and she on Moscato. I'm in them good till tomorrow. I'm a robber for the Neros. Yo, little Lowe's, I'ma put you on payroll. You smell that aroma? Design the air, it's a party, yeah. Papa Corona, she moving the body, she working them heels. Gotta go get it mentality. Grocery bag full of celery. Only believe half what you telling me. Keep a 20 on me in case emergency. I wake up early every morning. Thank the Lord and get the bag. Hustle hard, get the cash. Stack first, then I'm showing my ass. Gotta go get it mentality. Grocery bag full of celery. Only believe half what you telling me. Keep a 20 on me in case emergency.
My babies, that's who I grind for. That's who I do it for. Like the Navy, that's who I'm toting that iron for. Keep one in the head like a thought, nigga. Yeah, I fuck with Ty, he a boss, nigga. Foot on their neck, I exhaust, nigga. Niggas cross me, so I cross, nigga. Them stripper was lit last night. 500, what it cost, nigga. Shit was really legit last night. Had them hoes at the house, nigga. Instagram, Snapchat, Triller. What they say about Jay, he a go-getter. Used to have them fat sacks in the grove, nigga. Late nights, early morning, my dough, nigga.
You smell that aroma? Design the air, it's a party, yeah. Papa Corona, she moving the body, she working them heels. Gotta go get it mentality. Grocery bag full of celery. Only believe half what you telling me. Keep a 20